The Yin wind was thick and growing stronger, eventually merging into a continuous mass, flowing out from every crack and sweeping through the air. Within the immortal realm, the fragmented continents were collapsing continuously. At this moment, there were fewer than 20 remaining fragments of the Thunder Immortal realm. Amid the Yin wind, black ice crystals appeared with a cracking sound, spreading relentlessly. Soon, all the remaining fragments were sealed by the black ice. From a distance, the black crystals exuded an eerie, chilling aura that sent a shiver to anyone who gazed upon them. The thunder chains connecting these 20 fragments began to freeze, with ice crystals forming from the edges. In an instant, the chains solidified and spread, until, within moments, all the thunder chains had turned into ice chains. Within the Thunder Immortal realm, cultivators who had not yet managed to escape were instantly frozen by the Yin wind. They remained frozen in the positions they had been in when alive, whether flying, struggling, or closing their eyes in resignation to death. Some even experienced their bodies disintegrating, but rather than dispersing, their shattered flesh and the blood mist that had been expelled were immediately frozen, leaving behind an astonishing sight. On one of the fragmented continents, a middle-aged cultivator was frozen, his flying sword suspended in the air, solidified midway. Clearly, it wasn't just him. Almost every cultivator's magical artifact had also been sealed in the ice, freezing into stillness. There were even some who, while casting divine spells, had been hit by the Yin wind and were frozen instantly. Their bodies were encased in ice, but faint glimmers of their artifact's light still flickered weakly within the ice layer. These faint flickers of artifact light were the only source of brightness in the Thunder Immortal realm at that moment. Though they appeared beautiful like distant stars, up close, their true nature was far more foreboding. After the freezing, the collapse of the Thunder Immortal realm ceased, leaving behind only these black ice seals to tell future generations of the changes that had occurred here. A sword-like shadow flashed across the ice-sealed Thunder Immortal realm. The surrounding ice layers had no effect on it. The sword light was that of a long sword, its tassel swaying in the wind. Standing atop the sword's tip was a person, their figure equally as ethereal. They calmly gazed ahead, a smile playing on their lips. In a flash, both the sword light and the figure vanished into the distant horizon. In the Luotian star domain, within its 4 great regions, over 100 locations suddenly saw circular ripples. Each ripple appeared in a different place, but none of them preceded the others in time. Within the ripples, there appeared a cultivator at each location. These cultivators were deeply moved, feeling as though they had narrowly escaped death. They stared at the starry sky, feeling disoriented for a moment. They quickly found their way and returned to their respective families, and the events that had taken place within the Thunder Immortal realm began to spread throughout the Luotian star domain. Among them, one name spread like thunder across the hundreds of cultivators and dozens of cultivation clans. Sumu. In the cultivation families of these hundreds of cultivators, some were large, some small. But when dozens of these clans united, they formed a formidable force not to be underestimated. Under this power, the Thunder Immortal Palace, which rarely acknowledged the teleportation array, made no mention of it at all, as if it had never existed. In reality, these dozens of cultivation clans had no choice but to loudly proclaim this matter, and they had no choice but to highly praise Sumu's name. After all, having a family member enter the forbidden teleportation array of the Thunder Immortal Palace was itself a dangerous act that could endanger the entire clan. It was a matter that could not be covered up, and the Thunder Immortal Palace must already know. Rather than wait for the palace's punishment, they united to argue for their case. This gave them a glimmer of hope, or else they would have to sever the lives of the family members who had fled the Thunder Immortal realm. But those who went to the Thunder Immortal realm were all direct descendants of each clan, the future elite powers of their families. How could they be killed? The clan leaders of these families were all shrewd and calculated. They understood this very well, and in doing so, they successfully nullified the incident of entering the forbidden teleportation array of the Thunder Immortal Palace. However, at the same time, they had also thoroughly spread Sumu's name. Especially among those saved, as word spread from mouth to mouth, Sumu's name was inflated to unimaginable heights. By the end, no one could even tell what cultivation level Sumu truly possessed. The clan leaders, after carefully inquiring with their own family members, were shocked when they heard about the miraculous divine abilities used in the battle against the white-haired eccentric. The name Sumu had become a storm in the Luotian star domain, spreading far and wide, yet no one had seen him again. It was as if he had suddenly vanished, becoming a complete mystery. Luotian star domain, western domain. This was a vast starry sky, filled with expansive nebulae that emitted dazzling light, forming various strange shapes that often captivated anyone who gazed at them, leaving them entranced. Within the Luotian star domain, the western domain was the one with the most ferocious beasts. The vast expanse of the western domain had fewer cultivators compared to the other three regions. It could even be said that nearly 70% of the entire Luotian western domain was off-limits to cultivators. Even the starry sky itself was a dangerous place, with ferocious beasts lurking there that often exceeded the knowledge of cultivators. This area was known as the uncharted domain by the cultivators of Luotian. Only those with extraordinary abilities would enter the uncharted domain, typically for materials needed for pill refining or treasure forging. However, they never ventured too deep, staying around the outskirts, for the heart of the uncharted domain harbored terrifying existences. At this moment, deep within the uncharted domain in the center of the Luotian western domain, a strange starry sky unfolded. The entire sky was dim, almost pitch black, where not even a single star or glowing object could be seen. It was eerily silent, as if no one had set foot here for an eternity. After all, though this place was not at the very center of the uncharted domain, it wasn't far from it. In the midst of the darkness, a flicker of light suddenly appeared, a small crystal point. Initially faint, it soon grew radiant, releasing a dazzling brilliance that illuminated the surrounding starry sky in an instant. As the surroundings lit up, mist layers became visible. These mist layers seemed to fear the light, quickly retreating and shrinking away, forming a 1,000-foot radius of empty space in mere moments. The crystal light flickered and slowly expanded. In the end, it turned into a ring-like ripple, within which a phantom figure gradually took shape. The figure solidified over time, and ultimately, a person stood before the light. Wang Lin's eyes revealed caution. As the figure materialized and the surrounding ripples faded, he clearly saw the surroundings. The moment the ripples disappeared, the mist outside 1,000 feet began to stir, as if it sought to engulf the empty space. With the fading of the ring ripples, Wang Lin's surroundings darkened. However, a surge of danger rose in his heart, and all the hairs on his body stood on end. Without hesitation, he activated his divine soul thunder might, channeling it through his body and forming two extremely bright thunder orbs in his hands. With a deep rumble, the orbs took shape, and as they appeared, they instantly illuminated the area. The moment the thunder orbs formed, the surrounding mist had already encroached within 100 feet, ready to consume more. But upon being struck by the thunder, the mist recoiled violently, as if it had been attacked, rapidly retreating back to 1,000 feet. Wang Lin's face darkened as he stared at the mist 1,000 feet away, then scanned the surroundings. His brow furrowed. Where is this place? This mist is strange, as if it has life. Wang Lin's eyes flickered. He extended his right hand, sending one of the thunder orbs forward. With a resounding boom, it shot toward the mist. In an instant, the mist parted, creating a path for the thunder orb to travel directly through. Wang Lin followed closely, his figure flickering as he sped toward the opening. Moving alongside the thunder orb, Wang Lin continued his journey. The path ahead seemed endless, and even as the orb's light dimmed, the mist layer remained unbroken. All along, Wang Lin's brow remained furrowed. The mist around him was too strange, and he dared not spread his divine sense. He had a vague feeling that if he were to release his divine soul, it might trigger a drastic change in the mist. Although the feeling was faint, it was profound. After 3 days of flying, Wang Lin's body halted. Ahead, there was still nothing but endless mist, showing no signs of change, as if it were truly infinite. After a moment of silence, Wang Lin's eyes flickered with cold light. He gradually calmed himself, his heart and mind relaxing. He stepped forward, and immediately, ripples appeared beneath his feet. Wang Lin's gaze remained steady as he tried to merge with the surrounding world. With each step, the ripples multiplied, spreading outward. As he did, he found the connection to the world, and for the first time, he experienced a seamless integration with the world around him. This was perhaps the fastest he had ever merged with the world, and all of it was thanks to Yin Lazy. At this moment, Wang Lin's divine soul was tightly fused with the world, and even his physical body had undergone a similar transformation. As Wang Lin's right foot landed, he suddenly vanished from his original spot, leaving only ripples that spread outwards. Moments later, those ripples were swallowed by the surrounding mist, plunging the area into darkness once again, devoid of any light. Beyond an unknown distance, as if at the edge of the mist, there was more fog present, though noticeably thinner than before. Suddenly, ripples appeared out of nowhere, and as they reverberated, the fog around them quickly receded, revealing Wang Lin's figure coalescing within the ripples as he stepped forward. However, as soon as his body stepped out, a change of expression overtook him. This truly was the end of the mist, but merely 3 zhang ahead lay a vast, dark red flesh wall. Its size was immense, stretching infinitely in all directions. Looking up, Wang Lin could see nothing but the expanse of the flesh wall above him. Wang Lin's expression turned grim. During his earlier fusion with the heavens and earth, he had envisioned his own cultivation star. Yet after merging with the environment, he immediately felt like he had slammed into a barrier, involuntarily squeezing out from the cosmos and landing here. In that moment of seeing the flesh wall, Wang Lin came to understand that the barrier he felt during his fusion must have been this infinitely vast flesh wall. It was called a flesh wall not because it was still, but because it was alive, undulating with numerous bulges that appeared and wandered across its surface. Furrowing his brow, Wang Lin flashed upward along the flesh wall. However, the instant he took flight, the wall surged violently, fracturing into countless gaps as black mist erupted forth in torrents. With a flicker, Wang Lin evaded the mist, pressing against the wall in an unbroken section. His gaze flickered as he focused on the black mist, which carried a tremendous force as it intertwined with the fog ahead. The eruption of mist lasted for half a stick of incense, gradually easing until, at last, no more mist spewed forth, and the gaps in the flesh wall started to close. Gazing at the endless surface of the flesh wall above, determination flickered in Wang Lin's eyes. With a swift movement, he dove into a narrowing crack beside him. The moment he entered, the gap behind him closed instantly. It was a narrow passage. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with cold light as he advanced swiftly, his speed so great that he left afterimages in his wake. The fissure behind him closed rapidly, as if in pursuit of Wang Lin. Without casting a glance back, Wang Lin focused on the path ahead. With momentary flashes, he drew increasingly closer to the end of the passage, which was shorter than he had imagined. In no time, he reached the exit and burst forth. As he leaped out, a gasp sounded by his ear, drawing Wang Lin's focused gaze instantly. This place was not dark. Above, scattered stars twinkled, illuminating the realm. Ahead was a continent floating in midair, boundless and with no visible end in sight. In the distance stood a man clad in simple robes. His appearance was ordinary, yet his face bore a twisted rune mark resembling branches, and in his hand was a peculiar magical artifact that resembled an elongated water jug, though it was significantly larger, almost as tall as a person. The gasp had come from this man, who gazed at Wang Lin with terror, rapidly backing away as if Wang Lin were a monstrous beast. Most notably, the rune mark on the man's face evoked an unsettling sense of familiarity in Wang Lin. Without hesitation, seeing the man retreat, Wang Lin charged forward in pursuit. As he dashed out, the fissure behind him continued to close completely. The man's fear intensified, and as he retreated, the rune mark on his face began to writhe, extending until it blossomed into a 7-leaf plant at his brow. As the plant unfurled its leaves, a strange power enveloped his body. His speed instantly doubled, and in the blink of an eye, he vanished as if teleporting away. Wang Lin's eyes widened in realization, a glint of intensity shining through. Immortal Remnant Clan. He moved faster, his right hand forming a gesture as primordial energy surged within him. With a clap in the air, he sent forth waves of primordial power, disrupting the void and creating an expansive fluctuation that warped the surrounding space. The man who had just teleported now reappeared before Wang Lin. The man's eyes reflected confusion, but soon they narrowed with fear as he found himself confronted by Wang Lin, who stepped closer to them, locking eyes determinedly. The man trembled and screamed, retreating rapidly. Wang Lin furrowed his brow and reached out his right hand into the void. Immediately, the man's body stiffened as if caught by an invisible hand, yanking him back towards Wang Lin's side. Gripping this person, Wang Lin was interrogating him, but just at that moment, his expression shifted. He turned around and looked, only to see over 100 long rainbows shooting up from the mainland. These rainbows were of different colors, exuding a terrifying aura, and at an incredibly fast speed, they charged directly toward Wang Lin. In almost an instant, the hundreds of rainbows drew near, and at 100 zhang away from Wang Lin, the lights dissipated, transforming into figures dressed in coarse linen clothing. Among these people, there were no women. All were men, mostly middle-aged, staring at Wang Lin with a hidden fear in their eyes. On their faces and exposed limbs, there were rune marks, especially on their foreheads, where the shadowy image of a plant flickered. However, many of them had their leaves curled up, making it impossible to see exactly how many leaves there were. A gray-haired elder stepped out from the crowd. His face was wrinkled, and he looked at Wang Lin with awe, alongside a trace of excitement, before glancing at Wang Lin's right hand. Immortal, may I ask what brings you here? His tone was extremely respectful, his eyes fixed on Wang Lin's right hand, especially the beast bone design. Wang Lin's gaze remained unchanged, but internally, he was shaken. With his years of cultivation and composure, he was capable of remaining unaffected on the surface, but at this moment, he couldn't help but feel shocked, even though his expression betrayed nothing. The term immortal meant little when spoken by mortals, but when uttered by someone from the immortal remnant clan, it carried much more weight. More importantly, immortal was not just a respectful title. Before visiting the treasure pavilion, Wang Lin might not have thought much of it, but at this moment, he couldn't help but make a connection. Can you discern my cultivation? Wang Lin asked, his voice calm as he slowly spoke. The elder nodded, his gaze glued to Wang Lin's right hand, and his excitement grew even more intense. 8th grade immortal, even a commoner like me can recognize it. Wang Lin fell silent, staring at the elder. The elder referred to himself as a commoner and focused his attention on Wang Lin's right hand, which felt rather strange. Coupled with the elder's respectful gaze and address, an audacious thought suddenly emerged in Wang Lin's mind. Could it be that these people are unaware of the collapse of the immortal realm? If that's the case, then they must have been here for countless years. In the silence, Wang Lin's eyes flickered as he slowly asked, how long has it been since an immortal last visited here? The elder's expression darkened, and he respectfully replied, since the last heavenly decree from the carefree immortal king, many years have passed. The exact time, this commoner cannot calculate. Carefree. Wang Lin suddenly understood why the elder had previously focused on his right hand. He raised his right hand and revealed the beast bone design on the back of his hand, staring at the elder as he asked, do you recognize this item? The elder's eyes filled with intense excitement, and he replied respectfully, this is the life-bound treasure of the carefree immortal king, the mother-child Dao bone. Of course, I recognize it. Since you possess the carefree immortal king's treasure, you must be one of his close associates. Have you come here for the profounding cauldron? Wang Lin gave the elder a glance but didn't speak. His gaze shifted away, landing on the mainland behind the elder. The elder quickly bowed and said, it's my fault for not attending to you properly. Please follow me, immortal. The spirit immortal fruit has long since ripened. I'll have someone bring it right away for you to taste. Following the elder's lead, Wang Lin remained calm, trailing behind him. The other members of the immortal remnant clan followed behind as well, gazing at Wang Lin with reverence, seemingly afraid to get too close. The person Wang Lin had captured earlier, now freed, looked at him with intense fear after Wang Lin released his spiritual grasp. Under the elder's guidance, Wang Lin grew closer to the mainland. After a moment, he had already flown above it. Before him was a vast green plain. At a glance, the plain seemed endless, but the fragrant smell of fresh grass carried on the breeze, bringing a sense of comfort to the heart. The elder did not stop and respectfully led the way. In the center of the plain stood an ancient-looking cluster of buildings, scattered and uneven. While not destroyed, the structures carried an aura of age and wear. This aura was faint, but ever since Wang Lin had begun to dabble in soul extraction techniques, he had become sensitive to such a presence. When he was still 1,000 zhang away from the buildings, his eyes flickered, and his body stopped mid-air. Looking down, he could clearly see that, though the grass appeared no different from the surrounding area, there was something unusual about the place. With his knowledge of restrictions and the guidance he had received from Li Yuan in the Thunder Immortal realm, Wang Lin recognized a large formation restricting the area. The elder noticed Wang Lin's gaze and immediately spoke with respect, immortal. This formation was personally set by the immortal king to protect our clan from the mist beasts. Wang Lin didn't know what mist beasts were, but he nodded slightly without speaking. His interest in the place grew stronger. Carefree immortal king, the immortal remnant clan, the profounding cauldron. What is this place, exactly? As Wang Lin pondered deeply, a commotion suddenly arose in the distance. Below, in the buildings, some children widened their eyes, gazing toward Wang Lin's location. Wang Lin paused upon seeing these people. It was clear that they were from the immortal remnant clan, a whole tribe that had lived here for who knew how many years, still surviving and thriving through generations. The people flying in the sky retreated as Wang Lin approached, seemingly unwilling to get any closer. Many of them looked at him with fear in their eyes. The elder who had been guiding Wang Lin ahead of him immediately grew somber. He spoke a few words in a strange language to the people ahead who had flown out. The flying individuals fell silent and scattered. The elder quickly turned to face Wang Lin and said respectfully, "Immortal being, this is where my people reside." As the elder spoke, he descended and landed at the highest building in the area, standing to the side in a bow. Wang Lin touched down, his gaze flickering as his divine sense expanded to scan the surroundings. While confirming that there was no immediate threat, he did not enter the building but instead said slowly, "It is fine here. There is no need to go inside." The elder was momentarily stunned, then his face grew bitter. He did not continue the invitation but nodded in agreement. The immortal remnant clan members in the sky immediately gathered, surrounding the area. They appeared tense and fixed their gaze on Wang Lin. "Immortal being." The elder began to speak but was interrupted by Wang Lin. With a calm expression, Wang Lin gazed at him and said indifferently, "Why do the people here look at me with such fear after seeing me?" The elder's face grew even more bitter. After a brief pause, he sighed deeply and said, "It has been a long time since anyone from the immortal realm came here, and even the immortal kings seem to have abandoned us. Here, the oldest are the lowly commoners, and, to be honest, you are the only immortal they have ever seen in their lifetime. If it weren't for the records in our chosen immortal clan's archives, the commoners wouldn't have even recognized you as an immortal, let alone the other members of our clan." Wang Lin said nothing, only gazing at him coldly. The elder hesitated before speaking in a low voice. "My clan has been tasked with guarding the profound cauldron under the command of the carefree immortal king. However, since 30,000 years ago, the profound cauldron has opened every 100 years. Every time it opens, it releases large amounts of black mist, which transforms into demonic beasts. Some of these beasts are so powerful they can take human form. Over the past 30,000 years, countless of our people have been killed by these humanoid mist beasts. Since then, whenever strangers appear here, most of them turn out to be mist-transformed. However, our people have been marked with runes, so the mist beasts cannot take human form with us. Because of this, other than the lowly commoners who recognize you as an immortal, the rest of our clan cannot distinguish you. Some even doubt the words of the commoners and are unsure if you are a mist beast in disguise." The elder sighed deeply as he explained the situation. Wang Lin nodded slightly. Though the elder seemed somewhat trustworthy, the expressions of the people around him and the situation overall gave weight to the elder's words. "Where is the profound cauldron?" Wang Lin asked after a brief silence, his tone calm. The elder responded respectfully, "It is in the forbidden grounds of my clan." "Immortal being, do you wish to go there now?" Wang Lin pondered for a moment before nodding. He wanted to see what the profound cauldron truly was. The elder was about to speak when suddenly, a loud shout rang out from the sky above, startling everyone. "Ancestral elder, you cannot take this person to the profound cauldron." The voice was like a thunderclap, echoing across the sky. At the same time, the crowd in the sky parted, and a giant man, about 10 feet tall, stepped forward, his bare upper body revealing a mass of black rune markings covering his skin, even extending to his neck and face. In the center of his forehead, a strange 13-leafed plant wriggled, giving him an eerie and demonic appearance. 13 leaves. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. In his memory, the immortal remnant clan from Vermilion Birdstar had only seen a lineage with 11 leaves at most, equivalent to a yang fulfillment cultivator. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged as he looked coldly at the giant. The giant took several steps forward, and his appearance immediately caused the surrounding immortal remnant clan members to cheer, their faces filled with admiration. "Pagoda Mountain, do not disrespect the immortal being." The elder beside Wang Lin suddenly shouted sternly. The giant's eyes glinted with coldness as he glared at the elder and sneered, "Ancestral elder, are you so old that you've gone mad with longing for immortals? There are no immortals in this world. Our ancestors' records are nothing but fabrications. If immortals really existed, why would my clan never have seen one in all these countless years? Enough. Our chosen immortal clan has been the messengers of the immortals in the world since time immemorial. How could we exist if there were no immortals? Moreover, the heavenly decree from the immortal king back then still exists. Do you dare to disbelieve it?" The old man spoke darkly, his voice booming. "Believe? What is an immortal king but a remnant of a powerful person's divine sense? Why should I trust that? To believe in a divine sense left behind countless thousands of years ago? I trust my own strength more." The burly man clenched his right hand, exuding immense confidence. "Heretical." The old man trembled, pointing at the burly man, gritting his teeth as he said, "You." "I am heretical, so what? Immortals. My clan has guarded the profound cauldron within this netherworld beast for countless years, strictly adhering to the heavenly decree, yet what reward have we received? The mist beasts inside the profound cauldron and the deaths of our kin. When those mist beasts slaughtered our people, where were the immortals? Ancestor, no more talk of immortals. Today, even if this person truly is an immortal, I will kill the immortals at Pagoda Mountain. As the burly man spoke, his gaze suddenly fell on Wang Lin, his expression chilling. He took a step forward and in an instant, appeared right before Wang Lin, launching a powerful punch. With that punch, a booming sound echoed as runes materialized out of thin air, encircling the man's fist in a circular formation, as if infused with a mysterious formation. Immortal! Show your immortal power and let me see what you are truly capable of. Wang Lin's gaze was icy. He was well aware of the immortal remnant clan, and it was clear this person was not a rune sorcerer but a formidable rune warrior wielding a strong physical body. Wang Lin maintained a calm expression, speaking evenly. Not bad, but not enough. As he finished speaking, he lifted his right foot and lightly stepped down onto the ground. Suddenly, a series of loud thuds erupted. The earth beneath Wang Lin's feet expanded wildly from his center, and in that instant, the restrictions binding Wang Lin's body shattered. Amidst the sound reminiscent of shattering glass, all the restraints around Wang Lin's body collapsed, and that power rolled back, sweeping outwards around him. The burly man's expression changed as he felt a strong wind rush towards his face, causing him to momentarily falter. Wang Lin stepped forward, arriving just before the burly man. He raised his right hand and lightly tapped the man's chest, causing the burly man to shake violently, his feet instinctively retreating as the runic marks across his body radiated an extremely dazzling light. He retreated several dozen paces. Although his chest showed no visible wounds, it felt as if a storm raged within him. However, thanks to the influence of the runic marks, it was not too severe. With a brief rest, he could recover. A fierce expression crossed the burly man's face. With a loud roar, he slapped his right hand in front of him, producing a resounding echo. In that instant, the runic marks covering his body began to writhe wildly, manifesting into countless symbols that filled the space around him within 10 zhang, about 33 feet, creating a terrifying spectacle. The burly man charged forward fiercely, the runes swirling around him following his lead, rushing toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes flickered. The strength of the burly man's physical body, while not quite on par with the immortal guards from his past, was still formidable and incredibly resilient. His demeanor remained unchanged, and with a cold smirk, he stepped forward again, as if shortening the distance instantaneously, bringing him close to the charging burly man. As they closed in on each other, the burly man swung his right fist, striking out. This punch immediately caused the surroundings to tremble, and the runes cloaking his body flashed as if unleashing divine abilities toward Wang Lin. With a glint in his eyes, Wang Lin pointed forward, and the immortal arts of immobilization manifested in an instant. The burly man paused mid-motion, and at that moment, Wang Lin shaped his fingers into a sword and pressed against the man's chest again. With a loud bang, the burly man was sent flying, spitting out blood, his eyes reflecting shock as he looked at Wang Lin. The runic marks around him also spiraled backward, following him. At this moment, not only was the man shocked, but everyone from the chosen immortal clan watching this battle held their breath in stunned silence. Celestial being, please spare the life of Pagoda Mountain. The ancestral elder of the immortal remnant clan anxiously implored, his face filled with apprehension. No need. The burly man landed, stomping the ground as he retreated another 10 zhang, steadying himself before raising his voice in a battle cry, clasping his hands together in a sealing gesture over his chest. Immediately, the runic marks outside his body writhed peculiarly, quickly retracting back into him. But unlike before, they did not revert into markings. Instead, they bulged outward rapidly until they formed a suit of black armor around the burly man. The moment the armor appeared, a chilling aura immediately emanated from it, and behind the towering figure of the man, a faint black phantom seemed to manifest, resembling a demonic god. Heavenly decrees spiritual armor. You actually refined spiritual armor. The ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan gasped in shock, his voice trembling. Wang Lin's gaze sharpened. This armor looked familiar to him. It was exactly like the demon-splitting armor from the land of demonic spirits that he had encountered years ago. The only difference was that the demonic energy on this armor was not as thick, as though it had been suppressed by another force. With a roar, the man charged forward. Given his immense stature, wearing this armor, he resembled an ancient giant. Any faint-hearted individual who dared to look would likely be struck by a powerful shock to their mind, especially with the jet-black armor, which radiated an ominous and mesmerizing aura. As the man charged, the phantom demon shadow behind him contorted into a savage form. He threw a punch forward, and the power of this punch surpassed the two before it, emanating an incredible aura. As the punch was unleashed, the phantom demon shadow behind him twisted and transformed into countless wisps of smoke that spiraled around his right fist. When the punch was thrown, an eerie sound filled the air, sending a chilling and haunting aura rushing toward Wang Lin. Before the man's fist could even reach him, a dark silhouette, resembling a skull, formed from the smoke, accompanied by a silent, sinister laugh, attempting to devour Wang Lin. Wang Lin remained calm and collected, gazing steadily at the approaching giant. He exhaled sharply, and a grain of sand shot out. In the blink of an eye, a fragment of 100 meter length appeared and hurtled toward the giant. The oppressive force from the fragment was overwhelming, and as it descended, it formed an entangling barrier. This was the first time the 100 Immortal Realm fragment had appeared in the world. As it emerged, a tremendous wave of immortal power enveloped the area. The elder of the chosen immortal clan was visibly shaken, falling to the ground in reverence, worshipping with utmost devotion. Even the giant hesitated, his eyes filled with uncertainty. But after a brief moment, he gritted his teeth and, without hesitation, charged straight into the fragment that stood in his path. "Break for me!" With a thunderous punch, the 100 fragment didn't even budge, but the giant himself trembled. Blood spurted from his mouth as he staggered back. His eyes widened in disbelief. He hadn't anticipated the fragment to be so indestructible. Despite all his strength, not only did it fail to break, but the recoil from the impact had sent his vital energy spiraling out of control. The demonic shadow on his fist was also shaken, nearly dissipating. Wang Lin's eyes were cold as he raised a finger. Instantly, the 100 fragment rose into the air, spinning and forming a powerful storm. With the force of 1,000 tons, it slammed down. A sharp whistling sound echoed across the heavens and earth. As the fragment's imprint struck down, the giant roared and tried to block with both hands, attempting to resist it. "Fall." Wang Lin spoke indifferently. Immediately, the great imprint crashed into the ground with a deafening boom. The entire continent trembled, and large cracks began to spread across the land, splitting it open. From these cracks, vast black mist poured out, quickly converging together. The mist condensed rapidly, and in an instant, it took on strange forms. Mist beasts. The cultivators of the chosen immortal clan in the sky shouted in alarm. Each of them activated their brow plant, and from their heavenly crown, they conjured out magical artifacts resembling large-mouthed urns. Within moments, the mist had fully formed, and over 100 black, ferocious beasts appeared in the sky. Their appearances varied, but the chilling aura surrounding them, accompanied by low growls that pierced the soul, filled the air. The elder of the chosen immortal clan's face turned grim. His right hand flicked his brow, and a dark light flashed. In his hand, a large-mouthed urn, about 10 feet in size, materialized. He stepped into the void and soared toward the sky, shouting, "Fight separately. We must drive them all away within the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn. Do not let any humanoid mist beasts appear." With a flick of his body, he approached a newly formed mist beast. Smashing his magical artifact onto the urn's mouth, a massive sucking force instantly erupted. The mist beast's eyes remained shut, but its body began to twist as it was drawn into the urn in a whirlwind of smoke. Loud banging sounds echoed from inside the urn. Around him, the other clan members hurriedly used their magical artifacts, desperation in their eyes, as they charged toward various mist beasts. Wang Lin's gaze flickered. With a motion of his hand, the 100 fragment rose again. Beneath it, the giant known as Pagoda Mountain was battered, his body torn in several places and blood leaking from his 7 orifices, but he had not died. His eyes gleamed with battle intent as he fixed his gaze on Wang Lin. Wang Lin ignored him, his focus on the mist beast that had formed in midair. His eyes gleamed with a sharp, calculating light as he observed them, unblinking. The mist beasts were clearly just materialized forms, not fully awakened yet. However, the chosen immortal clan reacted swiftly, having abundant battle experience against these creatures. In an instant, many mist beasts were drawn into their peculiar magical artifacts. Just then, one mist beast suddenly opened its eyes while being drawn in by a clan member's artifact. It was the first to do so. Wang Lin had never seen eyes like those before. The mist beast lacked pupils but had 6 black dots, surrounded entirely by a gray hue. The coldness in its gaze was relentless and merciless. Fear appeared in the eyes of the clan member, who wasted no time in retreating. However, just as he stepped back, the mist beast flickered, moving with lightning speed to close the gap, directly lunging at his face and madly burrowing into his 7 orifices. The clan member let out a chilling scream, a sound that echoed through the heavens at that moment. Instantly, his body collapsed with a loud bang, blood erupting from him and transforming into a mist. Within this fog, the mist beast manifested, and with a long tongue, it licked its lips before darting towards the next clan member. Following this, one after another, the mist beasts opened their eyes, rapidly shifting from a passive state to one of bloodthirsty aggression, their speed like lightning. Immortal Formation Annihilation. The ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan appeared anxious, trying to evade the mist beast charging at them. Wang Lin's gaze hardened as a mist beast with opened eyes surged forward, heading straight for him, its ferocious roar threatening to penetrate his very soul.